So today I am going to make a video on virtual reality. Luckily this is a topic that I don't have to go on YouTube and search for footage of, because I actually have a virtual reality headset. I have the Oculus Quest 2. So this is going to be explaining my thoughts on virtual reality and what I think the future of virtual reality is. Also, I'm going to try and make this video the first one of my videos that goes up to 10 minutes. Anyway, with virtual reality getting cheaper, it's actually easier for most people to actually get it. It's the same price as Xbox One when it released. So it's a market that's actually slowly growing bigger and bigger. But the thing is, virtual reality isn't really competing with the Xbox One or the PS4. It's actually its own market. I see a lot of people say that virtual reality is going to kill flat screen gaming when I don't think they're competing against one another. I think in the future they're going to stand side by side with each other. Now I could be wrong there and VR could completely replace flat screen gaming, but really I can't see Nintendo or Sony going away from the gaming market. Mostly because these two companies' main product is gaming. They're either gonna grow with gaming or they're gonna go bankrupt. One of my favorite movies is actually Ready Player One. I liked what it showed about VR, but from what it showed, I don't think VR is gonna evolve that fast. I think a lot of people look at Moore's Law and look at how computers had evolved from the 80s to 2000s and think of VR as the same way, and it's gonna evolve in the same way. But VR is a computer. It's gonna evolve just as fast as computers are now. I mean, yeah, if you go from the 80s to the 2000s, computers had evolved a lot. But has anything changed from 2000 to 2020? Yeah, but not nearly as much. I think whenever people think of the future, they always imagine a lot of growth, and it never actually comes. They always imagine the world being so different when the world hasn't really changed in the last, I'd say, 50 years. But I do see the future of VR actually being pretty bright, with new developers. I can see a lot of developers not wanting to hop on the VR bandwagon and ending up going bankrupt from it. I mean, look at Pavlov. That's Counter-Strike in VR. But if Counter-Strike, the actual game, were to come to VR, I don't think it would ever evolve it to as much as Pavlov did. Valve was smart with bringing Half-Life to VR, because if they didn't bring Half-Life to VR, then someone else was. Also, within VR you can have totally different experiences than you can have at flat screen gaming. There's a game called Pixel Rip 1995 where you have to simultaneously play a VR game while playing with little Game Boy in your hand that it simulates. And it's actually a really cool game that wouldn't be possible without the stuff of VR. VR quite literally adds a new dimension to every game it's done to. While I don't think it will completely replace console gaming, I have no doubt in my mind it's the future of gaming. But one of the problems for VR that's slowly being solved is the fact that there's not a lot of AAA games for the new technology. Companies are slow to hop on the bandwagon. And that really is sad when so many of the flat screen games have so much potential within the VR world. You might have noticed in my last video when I was talking about couch co-op that I mentioned how when you're playing online against friends, it feels like you're going up against intelligent bots. But VR doesn't really have that problem. When you're interacting with someone else who's playing VR, you talk to them and interact with them on a much deeper level than you do if it was a flat screen game.
Who wants a free gun for free without even giving me something?
I'm so happy you did that. I don't even care if you're shaking, I'm just glad you did that.
Yep, T. It's hard to describe but easy to imagine to a flat screen gamer when you can use body language and hand gestures to communicate with other players. This makes VR not only funner to play, but funnier to play. Can I have your thing?
What thing?
This.
Put it back.
Okay. There. This is a topic I don't think anyone has ever talked about before, but as technology progresses in gaming, it actually gets funnier to play with friends. This is why I felt like I had to mention VR in my last video on couch co-op. Why do you think channels like Molly and Josh Dub got so big just by playing VR games with their friends, when there was channels just like them like Vanoss? The creativity you can have with your friends in VR is just not as good as you can with a flat screen game. Another source of potential I see in VR is also esports. While I've never been the biggest fan of esports, I can see the potential in VR with it. Now esports isn't about how fast you can click or how good your keyboard is, but it's about your physical body and how fast you can physically move. This also might result in people who play VR esports being thin and healthy. The biggest killer in the US right now is actually heart disease. So VR could help a lot, because so many people are addicted to gaming that they don't leave the house, which results in their heart disease and being unhealthy. This also makes VR a lot more interesting. I don't really find watching people play Call of Duty very interesting unless they're cracking jokes. What I might find interesting is people physically being in Call of Duty, and people being physically creative in combat. One move you can do in both Pavlov and Onward is actually throw a clip of your mag and people think it's a grenade. While you can throw your gun in Counter-Strike and maybe make people think that it's a grenade, it's not really encouraged or even thought about by the developers. And also in Pavlov, you can shoot behind corners blindly. While this isn't something that will get you a kill in the game, it is something you can do. My point in this is that VR actually encourages people to be creative when they're fighting people. A game I would love to see in VR is Rainbow Six Siege, or at least a game like it. Because each class in Rainbow Six Siege has different equipment, abilities, and other stuff that I think would work fantastically in VR. Imagine being IQ in VR and being able to see all the traps and stuff. It's an amazing thing to think about, but I don't think it will actually ever come to VR because I think Ubisoft is very hesitant with it. Maybe if Assassin's Creed and Splinter Cell VR do well, maybe we can get a Rainbow Six Siege VR. By the way, those are actually games coming to VR, like fucking hell, that's amazing. Ubisoft and Valve seem to be the first AAA game developers that seem to be making games specifically for VR. They're seeing the success of Aspire 1 and Boneworks and saying, I want to get into that. And they're diving right into the VR market as a result. Also, mods just seem more interesting in VR. Recently, I was playing a server in Pavlov where everything was Halo themed. There was Halo guns, it was a Halo map set in Blood Gulch. It was really nostalgic to look at, because as I said in my previous video, I used to play Halo a lot with my brothers. So with this review, I really didn't want to touch on the same topics that everybody else touches when it comes to VR. Because when it comes to reviews of virtual reality in general, people always say the same thing. Oh, it looks great. Oh, it feels great. This is the future of gaming. It's like an echo chamber of a review. All they can really talk about is how great it is, but they can't explain why it's so great or how it's so great. When that kinda is the point of a review, you want to know why it's so great and why you should get this. But I also get it. Trying to explain why VR is so great is like trying to explain what the word "the" means. It's something so objectively true that you just don't know how to explain it. Yes, it's obvious VR is the future of gaming, but why? It's probably because a lot of people see the end goal of gaming to immerse yourself as much as possible, but I don't really see it that way. I've always seen gaming as the end goal being to have as much fun as possible. But I don't think that requires immersion. I think you can have just as much fun without being immersed. I think it's just the fact that the most fun games are the ones trying to immerse you in the most fun topics. I mean, look at gaming today. Like, half of it is just shoot the bad guy, and there's not much to it. VR doesn't have this oversaturation of both gameplay and games in a franchise. Don't get me wrong, when EA and Activision finally get into VR, there's gonna be oversaturation. Introducing Call of Duty VR. With twice the bad guys to shoot, twice the classes to make, and twice the score streaks. And also buy this DLC that comes with the actual game and you can't play without. You know, with VR getting cheaper and cheaper, I don't think it'll be long before VR at least goes mainstream. I can't see Facebook keep going on with virtual reality and the Oculus Quest and it not being mainstream. Especially with something as new and innovative as VR. Anyway, I think I'm gonna end the video right here. Make sure to like and subscribe. And yeah, my name's Jeremy, and this is my first video to IX, but I'm also posting this to my personal channel, so yeah. Also, I have a Discord now, so you can join that if you're a fan of this. Make sure to like and subscribe, and bye.